This podcast is brought to you by our friends at Anchor by Spotify. And if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. No specialty training or equipment needed. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast worldwide on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many more. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. And best of all, like I've been saying, Anchor is totally free. It's free. Download the Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started and make your podcast dreams a reality. That's anchor.fm. What are you waiting for? Download the app.
Well, it's a big show.
Welcome to the Fade Route
It's a big bad show tonight.
with DNZ.
Yeah, it's a big show.
Here are your hosts,
Crank it up, turn on them lights.
DNZ.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Fade Route with D and Z. I am D, and we've got a great show for you tonight. The Lakers get Pat Beverley, the Mets lose Max Scherzer, and the Steelers have named their starting quarterback. But we'll begin today's show with football's back.
Woo-hoo!
The Rams start out their title defense against Josh Allen and the Super Bowl favorite Buffalo Bills. But there's a slew of games on the schedule that we're all excited for. So Z, tell me, what game are you most excited for this weekend?
Well, first and foremost, Happy New Year. It's back. I hope
It's back!
It's back.
And ladies and gentlemen, I would not let Z put tennis before anything on this show. I know he was itching to talk about Serena and give us one of those, other topics we start with, but it's football, baby. It's here.
Well, now that you mentioned it, Francis Tiafoe. No, I'm just messing with you guys. I am looking forward to. You have, a pretty good slew of 4:00 games. You have the Chiefs at the Cardinals, right? You have this new look Chiefs team, right? You don't have Tyreek Hill anymore. You're going to spread it around with Juju, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You're going to emphasize the run game. And they're taking on the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to, this is going to be a make or break year for them. They don't have DeAndre Hopkins. They don't have D-Hop to start. So is Hollywood Brown going to fill in that number one role? And is Kyler Murray going to step up and take that level that people have put him on, have claimed that he's on, that he's being paid to be on? Like, I'm intrigued by that. You have a couple of revenge games, right? You have a little bit of Russell Wilson going back to Seattle, taking on Geno Smith and the Seahawks on Monday night. It's a very interesting matchup. You have the Baker Bowl. You have the Browns and the Panthers. I'm looking for that from a purely like Jerry Springer type perverse enjoyment, perverse enthusiasm for that. But I gotta say, like, you're gonna get a little bit of juice for Bucks Cowboys on Sunday night. To me, this is the most intriguing matchup is Bills Rams, right? Because you have the defending champion in the Rams who are still loaded for bear, right? You lost Woods, you lost Beckham, but there's still plenty of firepower on this team. And we're going to see what's going to happen, because the Bills, there's a lot of expectations placed on the Bills, and they are a 2.5-point favorite currently. If you guys play that, play that out in Vegas, And I'm looking for specific positions. I want to see if the Bills actually have a run game. You know, you still have Singletary, you still have Moss. I know those are your guys, but they added James Cook. You're looking at a really good receiver core, good tight end. They can definitely put some pressure on the Rams. They certainly can. I just want to see in this heavyweight matchup who's going to come out on top, and I'm not going to tell you yet because that is going to be saved for the option.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Rams opening up against the Bills, I'm not going to give up who I'm picking either, but I think it'll be a good game, but I also think the Rams have been a little lazy. I'm not sure how much their heart is in it for this season. And to me, this game won't necessarily represent what's going to happen moving forward. I mean, the Rams could just come out with adrenaline and beat the Bills, or the Bills can come up and light up the Rams, and doesn't necessarily mean where the season is going to go from here. I have two other games that are much more appealing to me. I don't really care about the opening night game, as I said. I want to see the Jets get scorched by Lamar Jackson without his new contract. Robert Saleh is a defensive guy. This game has been on the schedule for months now. What was your plan to stop Lamar Jackson and the Ravens this Sunday? You had all the time to prepare for this game. So I'm curious in what he does. I don't want to hear about Zach Wilson. I don't want to hear about Joe Flacco. I don't want to hear about any of that nonsense. You are a defensive coordinator. That's your background. You put together this defense, you and Joe Douglas. You're going against Lamar Jackson in a contract year. Go. So that's what I want to see. The second one I want to see is I'm into the Jerry Bowl. I want to see Browns and the Panthers. I want to see Baker get his revenge. I want to see him come in and light up the Cleveland Browns. And I'm not just saying that because DJ Moore is on my fantasy team, and I may have to pick up Baker Mayfield because I'm uncertain at quarterback for Week 1.
Well, that's kind of a tricky spot, but Baker, that is intriguing from a perverse standpoint. But I don't think it's going to be that much of a game, frankly. You have Jacoby Brissett leading the Browns. You have Baker,
right, exactly,
you have
right.
Baker leading the Panthers. I really don't have a lot of hopes. Like that game, you're looking for when's McCaffrey going to get hurt? Like, is there going to be an issue moving the ball if you're the Browns? Because Carolina's not stupid. They're going to try and stuff the run because they know they're going to come at them with Chubb and Hunt. Like, they know that because Brissett is their quarterback.
And you know this, man!
You know this! Like, come on. It's as plain as the nose on your face. But, you have a few other matchups that have the potential to be good. But I just don't know how it's going to be. But, again, at the 4 o'clock hour, Raiders-Chargers. But, again, that's perverse enjoyment. How's Brandon Staley going to fuck this up?
Right.
That's what I'm looking at. How's Coach Staley going to ruin this? And Packers-Vikings. Who's going to blow it? Rodgers or Cousins? Because it's not primetime Kirk Cousins, so he's not going to be great.
The funny thing is like you just named those two games, right? Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people that feel Kirk Cousins takes the step up this year, becomes an MVP candidate. Me being one of the people.
Just because he's in come on.
Just it's time, right? It's time. It's just based on time. It's not based on it. Like Jake Delhomme, it's time. It's just time, right? Same to Kurt Warner. It's just time. And then there's other people who also think that, Aaron's got a new crop of receivers. They're not going to be on the same page. That's going to falter. But then there's another group that says, hey, man, It's Justin Herbert's time. He's going to be the Pat Mahomes of this season. 50 touchdowns, MVP, Super Bowl. So are we going to see we're going to see one of those two things come to light in those two games? I would say that those are more appealing games to me than the Rams game. You know, I feel like I know what I'm going to get with that game. You know, you got the Super Bowl champs. I mean, how could they blow this, right?
Well, we're going to tune in to find out. But kudos to the Lions. Before we segue into another topic here, the Lions, congratulations. You finally have sold out a game for the first time since 2019.
Wow.
Not only did you sell it out, and it's the first non-Thanksgiving game where it's standing room only at Ford Field. I don't think it's going to help, but kudos to you, Detroit. Your team is exciting and fun to watch.
Can you take the championship from DNZ? This year, you can play our football pick'em on CBS Sports and compete against us in the option every week. Check the link in our Instagram bio, Fade Route Podcast, for all the details and to sign up. Then tune into the Fade Route every week until the Super Bowl for updates and standings. Bring it on.
But sticking with football and speaking of fun to watch, the Steelers have finally named their QB1. It is Mitch Trubisky of Chicago Bear and clipboard behind Josh Allen fame. The former first-round pick was with the Bills last year, backing up Mr. Allen, and now he's back in the driver's seat, presumably until Kenny Pickett's small hands are ready to pick up the football. So what is Mitch's floor and what is Mitch's ceiling this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm big on Mitch. I liked him when he was in Chicago. I didn't think there was a problem with him. I thought there was a problem with the coaching staff. Like, the coaching staff was not prepared to coach Mitchell Trubisky. They were trying to do the same thing they were doing in Kansas City, and that's not his strong point. I feel like Mitch is in Pittsburgh. His role is defined. He's got a very talented running back. He's got probably B and C level receivers, decent offensive line, one of the best defenses in football, and he's going to get coached. And if he takes to that coaching, I see a 10-win team here, maybe 11 wins and a playoff berth. Now, what's the floor? The floor is that it doesn't go as planned. He reverts back to his ways of not getting rid of the ball, and where he gets hurt, and he gets replaced in 4 games. I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go the whole season with a 500 Mitch Trubisky. Like at 5-5, it's like, all right, let's just go with small hands. Or at like 4-6, they're like, what are we doing here? But their division, not saying it's up in the air, right? I don't really believe in the Bengals to repeat. The Browns have a whole slew of issues, and who knows what the Ravens are going to be like with a quarterback who hasn't even signed a contract yet. So I like Mitch. I'm rooting for Mitch. I hope he competes for Comeback Player of the Year.
Chicago didn't have a Mitch Trubisky problem. Chicago had a Matt Nagy problem. And it's very telling that neither one of them is still in Chicago. But Mitch Trubisky, in his time in the NFL, has had one season where he's thrown more picks than touchdowns. And it was last year because he only threw 8 passes. He threw 8 passes, no touchdowns, 1 pick. That is it. Every year, he has been above average in terms of that. Age 24 season, 24 touchdowns, 12 picks. The next year, 17 touchdowns, 10 picks. The year after that, 16 touchdowns, 8 picks. For the Bears. For the Bears.
Bears.
The Bears. The Bears. And I would argue right? Because he was throwing a hoop. Allen Robinson, okay, but then next best player, Anthony Miller. Come on. You already mentioned it. Najee Harris is there. That running back room, solid. Offensive line, we're going to see. It appears to be solid. 3 deep on your wideouts. You have Pickens, you have Claypool, you have Johnson. I'm a little more bullish on them than you are. I think they're going to be pretty good. And, are they going to be Juju? No. Are they going to be Antonio Brown? No. Claypool has potential. Deontay Johnson has major potential. And I just mentioned him. Anthony Miller is on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, my God. And congratulations, Anthony Miller. Congratulations, you made the Pittsburgh Steelers. But this team is going to be, Mitch's to steer. He only has to manage this game. They're never going to ask him to out and out win them a game. And they won't have to because they're going to rely on the defense. You have Cam Hayward, Tyson Alualu, Larry Ogunjobi, your favorite player, TJ Watt, Devin Bush, Miles Jack. You have talent. And that's secondary with Sutton, Fitzpatrick, and Edmonds. You have players. You have legit players. You have Levi Wallace can't even start on this team. They went and got him from Buffalo. He's on the bench. So that's pretty damn formidable. And of course, you have Chris Boswell, who's one of the best kickers in the league.
He is really good. Yeah. So I like it, and I'm intrigued to see what the year brings. I'm rooting for him, and this guy was a former first-round pick. I mean, I don't want the door to close on him, and nobody wanted him. Last year, he was a backup in Buffalo. I hope he learned a lot under, sitting behind Josh Allen and with Brian Daboll, and I hope last year wasn't a wasted season, but he's got a lot to prove here. He knows there's no future for him beyond this year in Pittsburgh. Cody Pickett is waiting in the wings. He's playing for the next contract. Right? The Jets are going to need somebody.
The Giants.
The Giants are going to need somebody. The Bears. No, he's not going back to the
Oh,
Bears.
my God. Could you imagine?
But Atlanta might need somebody, right? Seattle's going to need somebody. These are all places. Green Bay might need somebody, So these are all places where, he will have a chance if he has a successful showing.
Think about this for a second. If I can just throw this out there to you.
Throw it out there. Let's see what happens.
A player comp at this part in his career. Would you say at this point in his career he is comparable to the career arc? I'm not saying statistic-wise, the career arc of Mark Sanchez.
Oh, jeez. You're going to give him that? Oh, fuck. I thought you were going with Steve Young or something like that.
No.
Mark Sanchez? The difference
good enough
is...
to get his team to the playoffs. As we noted with Coach Westhoff, and he said it in his book, and we've said it multiple times, Sanchez didn't do too much to get the Jets where they are, and Mitch was very much in that same boat when he was with Chicago. It was a running team.
People forget that one year with Nagy, they got to the playoffs. They almost beat the Saints. I think they were a PI call away from really getting into scoring position and putting pressure on the Saints. Mark Sanchez,
in terms of where he is in his career, he's already on his 3rd team, and he's only 27.
But Mark played all those years for the Jets before they realized they had trash, and they even gave him a contract extension.
Well, to be fair, the Jets also did him dirty by putting him out there at Snoopy Bowl. He lost significant amount of time to Geno Smith because of that. Would he have lost the job to Geno Smith eventually? I don't know, but Rex didn't do him any favors.
The Jets did him dirty by drafting him in the first fucking round that early. That's what the Jets did him dirty on. The kid played 1 year at USC. Imagine if the Jets had a competent quarterback those years. They would have won probably back-to-back Super Bowls. This kid was figuring out where he was going to throw it before he even got the ball from the center. I mean, anybody watching on TV could see that. They were calling quick slants and easy to read plays for the kid. I actually like Trubisky a little better than that. I give him a better shake than to compare him to Mark Sanchez. I think he has a chance to show. This is the difference, right? The difference is when Mark Sanchez left the Jets, we knew what Mark was, and he wasn't going to become a starter ever again. I truly believe Trubisky has talent. I think he's a good player, and I think he's auditioning for his next role, and I think he will get another starting job.
For all the grill masters, green thumbers, home repair heroes, and DIY aficionados in the Richmond, Virginia area, if you're looking for a personal service, quality products, and a convenient shopping experience, look no further than Thacker Ace Hardware in Colonial Heights, Virginia. Owner Don Rackley and his team of local experts have everything you need to tackle all of your home projects. I'm talking paints by Benjamin Moore and Clark in Kensington, power tools by Craftsman and Milwaukee, electrical, plumbing, hardware, and let's not miss the grills. Weber, Big Green Egg, Traeger, Blackstone, top shelf, amazing. And for all you green thumbers, their nursery department is fantastic. Give them a call today, 804-766-4223, or stop by 27 Dunlop Village in Colonial Heights. That's 804-766-4223, or swing by 27 Dunlop Village in Colonial Heights. Thacker Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
But now we are one day away from kickoff. We've completed all of our Order Up segments for the 2022 season. So now I ask you, Z, who do you have in the AFC and NFC championship games? Who do you have meeting in the Super Bowl? And who will hoist the Lombardi Trophy in February?
Well, it's going to be a long season, right? Things are going to happen. Teams that we think are going to be good are going to be awful. Teams that we think are going to be awful are going to be good, right? Who expected the Cincinnati Bengals last year? So these things bubble up from time to time. But I think it is the Buffalo Bills' time, right? If not now, when? They need to ascend to the next level. The way the Cleveland Browns did not and ultimately self-destructed, the Buffalo Bills need to be in that prime position. Now, who's going to join them in the AFC title game? That's hard. But I gotta say, I like what the Chiefs did. I like enough of what the Chiefs did that I think they're going to be balanced enough that they can make some noise. And then if they bring in a little spark plug like Odell Beckham Jr. to bolster that wide receiver room, that makes them even more dangerous. So I really like the matchup of Chiefs and Bills. And for the Bills' sake, they got to win, right? It's Super Bowl or bust this year. As far as the NFC has a lot of mediocrity. A lot. So I can see a team bubbling up, right? I could see the Saints are talented enough to make a run. You have a team like, if the Vikings somehow get their shit together and Dalvin Cook isn't hurt, like maybe Dalvin Cook will be able to kind of keep the ship afloat, and maybe the Vikings make a little noise. But and you mentioned the Rams hangover already. It could be very real. It could be very real that they have a Super Bowl hangover and they just do not. They do not repeat, and they don't meet the expectations that we have for them. But then that leaves you with old reliables, right? But are they really reliable? The Green Bay Packers, yes, Rodgers is still there, but with that receiving core. Tom Brady's still there in Tampa Bay, but behind that offensive line. There are a lot of question marks in the NFC, and I mean, we have to choose, right? That's part of the issue here. We have to choose. And if I'm going to choose, I'm gonna step out on a limb. I'm gonna say the Saints get in as a wild card and they make the NFC title game. And the Saints are going to be joined by the Rams. I think they're going to have enough there that they'll be able to maneuver their way in.
So Jameis, you believe in Jameis?
I believe in Alvin Kamara. Now, if Alvin Kamara can have his legal issues taken care of, and Jameis doesn't turn into Tampa Bay Jameis, he's got potential. Like, he's got a cannon for an arm. If he can cut down the picks, if he could ever cut down the goddamn picks, and if they utilize that Swiss Army knife, that H-back, Taysom Hill, coach, he's an H-back. You're absolutely right, Coach Westphal. Taysom Hill is an H-back. If they utilize him properly, or even throw in some gadget plays, right, like turn him into Antoine Randall L, that adds another dimension. And I think that defense is still good enough to play. So they're going to give the Rams a run for their money. But you heard it here first. Thursday's game, tomorrow night's game, will be replayed in the Super Bowl. You heard it here first. It's going to be Bills-Rams. And as far as the winner, I'm going to go with the Bills because it's time. You said it before. It's time. They have to ascend now. Josh Allen needs to take the next step.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like the NFL Network guys. They're all homers over there. They're all chalking it up and taking the Bills, out of the AFC. I mean, so what I'm gonna be completely different, man. I believe in the Chargers this year. I think Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, I think they're gonna come out and be studs. They've got Khalil Mack and Boza on the outside for defense. And I think Herbert has the type of year Pat Mahomes had a couple years ago where he just lights it up. And on the other side, in the AFC title game, I got the Colts, man. I believe in their defense. They can run the ball and control the clock. They have a veteran quarterback that knows how to win. He's savvy. And I'm not saying they're going to win 13 games, 14 games, 12 games. They're going to be a wild card team. They're not going to be a team you want to play. On the other side, I got the 49ers. I think the 49ers, somebody asked me, how are you picking the 49ers? Hello, they were in the conference championship game last year. Like, with Jimmy G and a bad thumb or whatever was wrong with his hand. How could I not pick this team? And I do believe in Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is going to be what they need. And if he falters, Jimmy G is there. They've got the running back. They've got the defense. I think this year they get there. And an old school opponent will meet them in the championship game. They will face the Dallas Cowboys. Truly believe it. I've looked at their schedule. I can't see how the team fails. I don't want them to be successful.
You're not looking hard enough. Trust me, you're not.
I don't see how they fail. But I do see them failing in the championship game. I have the 49ers topping Dallas in the championship game. And I then have the Chargers ending Matt Ryan's chances at going to another Super Bowl. So I have the Chargers and the 49ers in the Super Bowl. It's a repeat of a Super Bowl played in 1994. But this time, I have the Chargers as champions. I'm all in on Justin Herbert and the Chargers.
Well, yeah, Stan Humphries isn't going to be quarterbacking this time, so I think they might actually have a shot. But the coach, I don't trust him.
I don't trust him either, but, I mean, at the end of the day, right? Coaches coach, players play. They have the makings of it. He can only fuck it up so much. I mean, Boza and Khalil Mack. How are they not going to get to the quarterback? Like, how are they not going to get to the quarterback?
Joey Bosa gets hurt all the time. It could end up being the Bosa brothers Super Bowl. That's an interesting storyline.
Right, that's the storyline that the NFL plays up. Like, it seems like we have the makings now. Some outside teams. I actually like the Saints' chances. I agree with you. I think Jameis is gonna have a really good year. I mean, some of the company he's with, as far as passing yards and passing touchdowns, it surprised you. Like, he's up there with like Peyton Manning in some of these stats. I think Tom's gonna be there. Like, you're not gonna get rid of Tom Brady. Tom's gonna be there. The Rams, I don't know why. For whatever reason, I just don't think they're hungry. I don't think they get it. And remember, we talked about it last season when they made all those trades. It's like, there's not a lot of depth there. You lose a guy or two, you're fucked. Like, you know, there's no depth on the team. And everyone's seen it now. Like, they're going to be, they can't come out running the same shit. Like, everybody's going to be ready for that. So I don't know if he's creative. He's a young guy, though. I don't know. And then I guess I think the Bills are going to compete. The problem I have with the Bills is the running game. Like, they went and drafted James Cook, and that's good. They got Singletary, that's all right. I think the running game's going to hurt them. Josh Allen cannot be their leading rusher. If he goes this year running like he did last year, they're in trouble.
No, he cannot be. He can't be running like he was running. But,
right.
You know, you need to figure out what you're going to do there. And who's to say, you know, like, they can definitely find a guy. Like, you can certainly find someone to take the load, whether it's, you know, through a trade, through a cut, waiver claim. Kareem Hunt wants out.
Yeah.
Maybe Kareem Hunt ends up in Buffalo. If I'm Brandon Beane, I would look into that. But, James Robinson in Jacksonville, like, he's not playing. Like, or he'll be, like, the handcuffed to Etienne.
No, from what I understand, he's healthy, ready to go. They're looking to give him a heavy dose this weekend.
Showcase him to trade him. Like, you know, if you believe in Etienne, then showcase Robinson enough to trade him. And Buffalo, he's the kind of running back that I want. Like, I want somebody who's going to be a bell cow, you know, an Adrian Peterson type running back, you know. So that is what you need. You need somebody who will punish teams, and then you open it up with Josh Allen, the same way that Thurman Thomas opened it up for Jim Kelly. So we're going to see what this is all about.
Avoid messy accidents. Get better stopping power with your brake pads. Callahan brake pads. You never know when you'll be driving in the road and there will be a truck tire that you need to avoid and save your family. Callahan Auto. We really care about what's under your hood.
But we saw what college football was all about. Not many matchups worth watching in week 1, even though it's really week 2, but you know that week 0 thing, like, I don't understand it. 0 is not a number, so why are we even bothering? USC thumped Rice. Georgia destroyed Oregon. Michigan went off. The only intriguing game was between Florida State and LSU, and that's only because of Brian Kelly and the post-game presser. But there was a blocked field goal by the Seminoles that would have sent the game into overtime, and ultimately, Brian Kelly goes down. So what did you think of that game, and what did you think about the opening to the college football season? Was there any game that kind of stood out to you?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna start off with I thought the Pitt West Virginia game was very close. It was played very well. A lot of talent in the game, and they were separated by a touchdown. East Carolina almost upsetting NC State. That was a good game played in Coastal Carolina. Florida upsetting Utah, number 7 Utah. But yeah, I mean, the Florida State game was the best game. It was fun to see Brian Kelly lose, man. Like, that guy is just a douche, right? I mean, and in such, like, in such a fashion where I'd say you're about to tie the game to go into overtime, and oh wait, you missed the field goal, it gets blocked. His smugness, it makes you think that he will be the next head coach of the New England Patriots.
Oh,
doesn't it? I was thinking about it, I was like, he's so smug, he's so like full of himself that, you know what, he's gonna be the next head coach of the New England Patriots. You watch.
that is very interesting. I would not peg him to be a Robert Kraft guy. I wouldn't really peg him to be an NFL guy, to be honest with you. I don't know if an owner would trust him. But this week was, if week 0 was a Drek week, this was a Drek week with names. Alabama beating Utah State 55-0. We already talked about Georgia 49-3 over Oregon. 51-7 Michigan, Colorado State. 45-13 Oklahoma over UTEP. Baylor 69. Albany 10.
Somebody scored 70 too, right?
Miami, the U over Bethune 70-13. Stop it! They're already dead. Like, unbelievable. And then
USC blew somebody out also, right?
Yes, USC took the Rice, I believe.
Yeah.
But like 63-61, right? UNC pulled it out. Like, what is going on? Like, what? How can you, in good conscience, put this crap out and expect people to like it and enjoy it? New Mexico beat Maine 41-0. Like, this is not fun. This is not interesting. Marshall 55, Norfolk State 3. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
well,
what are we
here's the thing
talking about here?
I think in college, especially the homecoming weekend, alumni just want to see their team win. That's what it comes down to. Like, they don't care who they're playing. I saw so many clips on Facebook and Instagram, people at the Nebraska game, people at the USC game, and they're just got shit grins on their face, and they're drinking and watching their team just pummel another team. You leave at the end of the third quarter, or you stay into the end of the game and sing the fight song, right?
Yeah.
This week has nothing to do with competition. It has to do with, I want to see my team dominate another team. And let those let the little teams in the middle play each other for competitive games. But if I'm from Alabama, if I'm from Michigan or Michigan State, I want to see complete and total dominance. I don't want it to be close. I don't want it to be a nail biter. I want to be able to scream at all my friends who don't go to my school and just shout on how much better my team is than your team.
But are they, though? Because they're playing such poor competition. I don't know how good these teams are.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to them. They don't care.
Yeah, but if you're looking, going back to that North Carolina Appalachian State game, you figure that Hubert Davis or Roy Williams is on the sideline instead of Mac Brown. It's a basketball score. Like, this is just, it's non-competitive, and this is exactly what the power conferences wanted.
People paid to go. People paid an immense amount of money to go. And they walked away thinking, man, that was great.
And now now they have the other layer in the future of the 12-team college playoff. So, like, each
is trash.
Yeah, but these games are going to mean more in the long run because now 12 teams are going to get in. So we're going to see what that's made out of.
It's just diluting the product. But they don't care. They want more bowl games. They want more teams in it. They want more competition. You go right from 4 to 12, not 4 to 8, but 4 to 12.
Right.
And then how long is this? Is there any real meaning in the regular season, right? And even if there is, it's like, you're just watering down the product. And as you come to the finish line, you're getting into the area where you're going to be playing basketballs on. Football playoffs are going to be starting, and you're still trying to figure out who's the winner of the college season.
Yeah, but I
like,
guarantee you this is that if we just started throwing names out, we could come up with a top 12 right now, and that would probably be the top 12 for multiple years in a row.
The problem is like you with the 4 teams, we've seen incredible imbalance in the first round games, right? We've seen 1 destroy and annihilate 4, and we've seen 2 crush and obliterate 3. We haven't really seen competitive from 1 and 4. I guess what I'm trying to say is you're likely to still get the same final 4 teams. It's just that they're going to play an extra game.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I said, you're leaving more chance for injury. You're leaving more stuff out there. There's more time goes by, which is you're not making it as great as it can be. I always say this, I want to see 2 teams at their best. I don't want to see them after their running back sprained his ankle, or their quarterback hit his thumb or hit his hand on a helmet. These are the things that could completely throw off the game, because you're adding more games, you're adding more chance for injury, you're adding more chance for upset. I'm not saying I don't want to see upset. I want to see the best teams play, regardless of who that is. So if at the end product is Alabama, Georgia, do I need to see Alabama crush USC? Do I need to see Georgia destroy Michigan State? I want to just see Alabama play Georgia. Is that so bad?
Apparently. I mean, that's why they railed against the BCS, right?
The same thing goes for the NFL, though. It's do we really need this extra play-in game? I don't really give a shit about the play-in game. Does 45-year-old Tom Brady need to play an extra game if that's going to prevent him from going up, raising his immortality? I don't want that. Or better yet, Derrick Henry gives him more rushing attempts he has to take. Running backs don't make it through a season as it is. You're adding more games, more playoff games, whatever.
Do you love brownies? Of course you love brownies. But you know what's better than a brownie? A delicious, handcrafted, gourmet brownie delivered right to your doorstep. That's what our guys at Sweet Life Brownie Co. offer. Chef Tommy D and the crew offer a dozen delicious delights that you will crave, from the classic OB to Dutch apple to campfire s'mores and many more. Check out their website, sweetlifebrownieco.com, for their Friday brownie drops. At noon, their site goes live and you see what they're making. Since you're there, become a site member and earn points. You earn 50 points just by signing up. Make sure you follow them on Instagram and Facebook too, at sweetlifebrownie_co, for the latest updates and their latest releases and creations. That's sweetlifebrownieco.com. Give them a call, 845-641-3043, and tell them D&Z sent you. That's sweetlifebrownieco.com, 845-641-3043. Sweet Life Brownie Co., because there's always room for a brownie.
Let's move over to basketball, where the Lakers think they've solved their issues with their team. Get that. Last week, they traded for Pat Beverley. The Jazz received Horton and Johnson, and the Lakers received Pat Bev. This came on the heels of Beverley guaranteeing a Western Conference Finals appearance on SportsCenter if he was on the Lakers. So, Z, are the Lakers title contenders now since they got Pat Bev?
In short, no. They have not done anything to make their team better, right? You still have the albatross of Russell Westbrook, or supposedly the best Laker on the team last year, right, Jeannie? You still have players on this team like Dwight Howard. You have...
Is he still there? Jeez.
He's still there. You still have, you bring in Patrick Beverley, 34 years old. He's long in the tooth, great defensive player. I mean, this is what he brings to the team, right? He's the agitator. But at the end of the day, that's not enough. An agitator is not going to take you over the top. Will they move up in the standings? Most likely. But that's not due to this trade. It's not due to any major moves that they've made. I would argue that they're going up because Utah blew it up. So Utah is stepping aside. But Minnesota is also moving up, right? You have the Nuggets still there. The Blazers, we'll see. You have the Warriors. One little thing I like to call the whole thing. So, I admire Patrick Beverley's chutzpah. I admire his confidence. I really do. However, I just... It's not there. It's not there. It won't be there. And it can't be there. It can't be there at all because this is what happens when you tie your cart to LeBron James. Your promising team, gone.
Yeah. Pat Bev is good, but he's not that good. I mean, I think for them to be title contenders, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook all need to play at an MVP level. Then they just have a chance. It's not even guaranteed. It's like now you have a chance. They have too many teams to pass, in my estimation. Well, let me look at this, with my keen eye here. In my opinion, they got to pass Phoenix,
Yep.
Golden State,
Yep.
Denver, Dallas, Minnesota, and the Clippers. They're all better than the Lakers. And that's just in the West. And in the East, there's a whole slew of teams. Like what? You got the Sixers. Then even I'll put the Nets above them. You got Milwaukee. You got Miami. Miami's really good. Cavaliers made some solid moves. They're going to be hard to beat. So, no, I do think he brings an element that they need. There's an element of toughness there. He's a true point guard. He plays defense. He facilitates. He's not afraid to tell people where to go and what to do. But to say that now he puts you over the top, I mean, you're putting a lot on this guy.
I mean, it's nice to say, but it's not. This team goes Anthony Davis goes at this point.
Yeah, you're right. He has to be the best player. I mean, LeBron's past his prime right now, and I'm starting to even question how much he really even cares. Because if he cared, he probably would have asked to get traded or leave the team. Like this team has no. This team, they can't beat anybody. They really can't. They can't hang with anybody.
You would get a bigger haul.
Denver.
Yeah.
Denver's better than them, man.
Mm-hmm.
Denver's better.
Memphis. You didn't even mention Memphis.
Yeah, Memphis, I'm not sure if what last year was just an outlier. Even though they were very good without Murray. I don't know if they were to lose Murray, if they could keep it going as much as they did. Excuse me. But look at the Heat, man. The Heat are good. The 76ers are good. Like, there's so many good teams, and I'm not sure what LeBron's angle is. I'm not sure what he's really. That's why I think he's just packing it in. Like, he's not trying to go to another team like he usually does, right? That's what he usually does. Like, he leaves after 4 or 5 years, but this time he's staying here.
That's also the intriguing part, because usually he leaves as a free agent. The Lakers would get a major haul if they were to turn around and deal LeBron James. Like, if they would get a bigger haul for trading LeBron than they would for Russell Westbrook. Just because they would have to eat a significant amount of that money.
I just don't even like. We saw what happened with Kevin Durant, though. It's like, really, is the market for Kevin Durant much different than the market for LeBron James?
Yes.
Is a team really willing to give up so many picks and so many assets to land LeBron James? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, what team's gonna do that?
Chicago Bulls. Without even thinking, Chicago Bulls would do that. The Cleveland Cavaliers would probably do that. They just brought in Donovan Mitchell. You put Donovan Mitchell with LeBron. Like, I think they would go for one more run. They're pretty, he's a hometown guy. He's been successful there before. I could definitely see that. A team like the Hornets, provided that you don't have to trade LaMelo Ball. But if you don't have to, if you can,
you think Michael Jordan wants LeBron James?
I think that Michael Jordan wants to win, and I think he realized. I think Michael Jordan.
But LeBron's not winning in LA. So you're trying to put the losses on what? On Anthony? You're putting all the L's on Anthony Davis.
I'm putting the L's on the fact that it's a shit team around him. It's a shit team, like plain and simple. But this is what happens when you bring him in. This is what I'm saying. Is that initially it's great because. Back in the day, perfect example, like a perfect analogy, when Hulk Hogan went to WCW, he brought all of his friends with him, right? So all these big name acquisitions, and all of a sudden you see Macho Man Randy Savage, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Nasty Boys, the Honky Tonk Man, getting a payday.
I'm bad.
That's right. And then a couple of years later, place is out of business. Same thing. He got Carmelo a job. He got Dwight Howard a job. He brought in Anthony Davis. When he runs the show, this is what happens. It becomes scorched earth. But if I'm the team that has young, appreciable assets, I'm not gonna give up as many. Like, I would give up lottery tickets. I would give up these picks and maybe a player or two, but I'm not bankrupting my team that I have spent time in the draft to build just for a short run to LeBron and maybe Bronny. So because that's the other thing too. They want to, they're trying to hang on so they can play together, kind of like the Griffeys did. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think it's just a pipe dream. It's a complete pipe dream.
Are you in need of air care maintenance or service? I have the company for you. Air Care Technicians. They service the Westchester and Northern Bronx area and can help you with all your heating and cooling, maintenance, and service needs. Just give them a call at 914-315-1547. Again, that's 914-315-1547. Or shoot them an email at aircaretechnicians@gmail.com. These guys are the real deal as they are veteran-owned, licensed, and insured. Make sure to tell them that D&Z sent you. Well, we've definitely gone through the meat and potatoes of this week's episode, but there's always dessert, and I've been itching to talk to you about this next topic. Your boy, Max Scherzer, left his last start after 67 pitches with an apparent injury. The Mets announced he was feeling left side fatigue and there was no cause for concern. Turns out he's going to be on the 15-day DL, and that's just so they can bring an arm up and help them get through these next couple of days. Scherzer said it's different than the last time he got injured because it's not one point that's fatigued. It's just a general feeling of fatigue. I think you're generally feeling a little bit of concern here. No?
Absolutely. How can you not? This is the
got
same.
A bottle of Pepto right by the bed, right?
This is the same Max Scherzer who had a dead arm last year.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
You'd be foolish not to be concerned. Now, the one good thing that is buoying this is that you have DeGrom, right? If DeGrom wasn't there and Scherzer was out, Chris Bassett and Taijuan Walker are your numbers 1 and 2? What? No. So, but all things being said, the Mets are taking care of business against the Pirates in the doubleheader right now. What concerns me is that while they did take care of business with the Dodgers, winning 2 out of 3 in that series, which we did not expect, they went and lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals, the sorry-ass Nationals. And not only did they lose to the sorry-ass Nationals, but they got outscored 17-9. Like, that is concerning. Now, Marte is dealing with a finger fracture. How's that? How are you going to grip a bat with a fractured finger? So that's going to be an issue. He's been one of the best, if not the best, all-around contributor to the Mets this year. So now you got to rely on your depth, right? You have to rely on Tyler Naquin. So Naquin's been solid. Naquin's been solid, but in an everyday capacity, there's a reason why he's a bench player. So, like, you're going to need Canada to step up. You're going to need Nimmo to step up. McNeil is swooning right now. Alonso is swooning right now. Like, it's the worst possible time for the Mets to get in a funk because your Braves are not only nipping at the heels, they're tied. They are tied for the division lead. Now, the one saving grace is that going forward, the Mets have the Marlins, the Cubs, these Pirates again. The Brewers.
These Pirates. These pesky Pirates.
These damn Pirates. The Brewers, good team. That'll be a competitive series. The Brewers have something to play for. The A's are playing out the string. You'll get some quadruple A Sacramento River Cats who are going to play. Marlins again. The last showdown, September 30th, October 1st, October 2nd. In Truist Park against the Braves, possibly for the division title. I'm earmarking that series. I'm interested in that series. So if you can get Max Scherzer healthy for that series, I'm game. I'm ready for that. And then you have 3 against the Nationals, which hopefully hopefully a playoff spot will at least be wrapped up by then, if not the division title, and you can play out the string comfortably. But as a Met fan, between the bullpen and now you're losing starting arms, Cookie Carrasco came back, not great. You have to be concerned. You just have to be.
Yeah, I do. I think there is a lot of cause for concern here. This is the same thing that happened last season. And in my opinion, he really cost the Dodgers the chip because he couldn't pitch in Atlanta in the NLCS. They need a rested Scherzer to compete for a title. Just shut him down. You're going to make the playoffs. So fuck the division. Let's get him healthy. Shut him down for the rest of the season. Don't let him come back until playoff time. But how about the Mets and the Braves? I read somewhere that they're the only 2 teams in the majors that have not had a 3-game losing streak all season. That's some wild stuff.
I mean, that's impressive.
And I think in their last, I think the Braves are like 64-23 in their last like 87 games, which is ridiculous. I mean, they had to make up ground. I mean, the Mets had a 10-game lead at one point. It's unfortunate for the Mets that it's all going to come down to that final series because they've had a hell of a season. But when you look at it, I mean, they're also having trouble hitting. I mean, I think they're moving Alonso up to the 2-hole. They're trying to copy what the Yankees do. They don't know. The Yankees don't know what they're doing. Don't put Alonso in. When you look at the Mets, it's like they have a little league lineup, right? It's like the first 5 guys can hit, and the next 4 guys like, I don't know. He could hit today. He could not hit today. We'll see what happens. He might trip on his way to first base. Like, I don't really know. Like, I feel like that's what when I see the Mets lineup, like that's what I think about. Like, they have a minor league lineup. They got guys that hit the ball all over the place. You can't really shift on the Mets, in my opinion. especially with like McNeil and Marte. Those guys will hit the ball wherever they want to hit the ball, you know. But Marte being hurt, problem. Mets bullpen, problem. Scherzer, like the Braves starting rotation. I think I read this somewhere too. They're like 34-19, something crazy like that. Like that's really, really good. And I think they had Wright is like a 19-game winner, 18-game winner. People don't even pitch that many games anymore.
Yeah, a lot of it is fool's gold though. Like this year, Kyle Wright's 17-5. Like that's not sustainable. I'm sorry, Kyle Wright is not that good. Now you have Max Fried, still your best starter, still your best, far and away your best. That bullpen, it's still shaky. I'm sorry. If you look out there, Kenley Jansen, you don't know when he's gonna have a heart episode. That's a problem. Like the health of your closer is an issue. AJ Minter has been so overused in the past few seasons. Is he, how good is he really?
He's like the town cat.
Yeah. Iglesias, they got him from the Angels. Good pitcher.
That guy.
Good pitcher. He was at one point when he was with the Reds. And like everybody who passes through the Angels.
You mean when he was in college?
Things got to the point where you had to go get Jake Odorizzi.
Sounds like a Brave already.
That's it. Like there's a lot, this is the thing about the regular season. Like lesser known names or not as good players can actually get you where you want to go. But the cream is going to rise to the top. Now you put this rotation, this bullpen against a team like the Astros in the World Series, like I don't see a repeat. I'm sorry. I think the Astros have your number this year. Now, the Braves can hit. That is undisputed, right? You have Olsen, Riley, Swanson, Acuna. Acuna wasn't healthy last year. He is now. This kid Harris is good.
Harris is the future, man.
Yeah.
That guy's really good.
If Ozzy Albies comes back. And if you don't, you have Vaughn Grissom. So, the Braves, if they're going to make any noise in the playoffs, are going to have to outslug you. Because I'm looking at this rotation, I'm looking at this bullpen, I'm not scared. I'm not scared of Strider. I'm not scared of Fried. And I understand that they won last year. Like I understand that they're the champ. I'm still not impressed. I'm still not scared. Sorry. More or less? All right, boys and girls, you know how it goes. We have statements. And it's either more or less likely that that statement will be true. More or less, number one, Sauce Gardner will give up more than 5 touchdowns this season.
Oh, this all comes because he didn't give up any completions during the preseason, and he didn't give up any touchdowns last year in college. Listen, Darrelle Revis got tested early in his rookie campaign, and I recall him getting toasted by Randy Moss. This guy is no Darrelle Revis. I am going over.
I'm going more
so
likely.
I'm saying more likely.
Yeah, I'm going more likely as well. Week one, probably not. Week 2, probably not. Week 3, Jamar Chase. Boom, there's your first one. Week 4, Deontay Johnson. Boom, there's your second one. Week 5, Tyreek Hill. Boom, might be multiple. Week 6, at Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers have something for you. Denver, you got a reprieve. Just because Russ is cooking. You might have a couple picks that week. New England won't throw your way. So New England doesn't really,
They're just gonna toss the ball to Stevenson in your direction, and you're going to have to go make a tackle.
Right.
Something you're not really comfortable doing.
Right. New England's going to Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry the Jets to
The
death.
shit out of you.
Right. Week 9, Buffalo, Stephon Diggs, hello. Bye week, New England again, Chicago. Okay, you got a break. Can I interest you in Justin Jefferson, December 4th, week 13? Stephon Diggs again. You got a break versus Detroit, unless you really like Amon-Ra St. Brown. The big Christmas week game against Jacksonville. You got a reprieve. You got Seattle, week 17. And then Tyreek Hill to close out the season. You could be getting burned quite a bit. Like, you're talking about Sauce, right? Like, your nickname is Sauce. You could be fucking like Ghost Pepper Scorpion Sauce. You're going to burn. You're going to need friggin' kaopectate. You're going to need to go and get some soothing, cooling relief from the burning that you're going to get, Mr. Gardner. Because this ain't Cincinnati. This is the pros. And frankly, you're going to play against men now. You're going to play against grown-ass men. And frankly, I don't see where you're going to be successful. More or less, number 2, Lamar Jackson will have an Aaron Judge-like season.
Man, I mean, I'm going with more likely. This guy's really betting on himself. The quarterback gave the Ravens until Friday to provide him with a new contract. I'm not sure what the deadline really means. I mean, I'm sure he's still going to play this season, but I expect him to light up this year. I believe in him, and I think he's going to play really well.
More or less likely, he'll have more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns.
I'm going to say less. I think he throws the ball. He's got to show he can throw the ball this year. So I'm going to say less. I think he's got to stay in the pocket and throw the ball. Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews, J.K. Dobbins when he comes back, like he's got to stay in the pocket and deliver the football.
Well, I'm going to go less likely because frankly, I don't believe in the other guys around him. It's important that you have quality players. Like they brought in DeMarcus Robinson off a waiver claim. All right. So he's now your 4th best wideout. You have Duvernay, Prochet, Bateman. You can only throw the ball to Andrews so many times. It gets predictable. Dump it off the tight end. Shit. That's what, 35 passes, 35 targets to the tight end. Like, eventually you're going to have to put these wideouts through their paces and see how good they are. And the running game, I like the Kenyon Drake pickup. I think they're going to rely on the run game. I think that's going to definitely, buoy Lamar Jackson to where you don't necessarily, it's not going to hurt as much if Lamar Jackson struggles because he doesn't necessarily have the weapons. But he's betting on himself. He's going to have to make this happen. So, all the best to him, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to make it happen just because this organization has failed him in terms of getting him a quality receiver.
You can't help but smile when you see a balloon. The simplest occasion is a party. Westchester Pop Stars, located in New Rochelle, New York, offers balloon styling and decor for all life's events. Birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, showers, school and corporate events, store openings, or just because. Westchester Pop Stars takes balloons and shapes them into works of art, creating decorative installations for your special occasions. No event is too big or too small, and their custom personalization service is top-notch. Westchester Pop Stars is a private studio, quickly expanding. In-person consultation is by appointment only. Send an email to westchesterpopstars@gmail.com for more information or to schedule an appointment. No need to hire an event stylist. All you need is balloons. Currently servicing Westchester, Putnam, New York City, and Connecticut. To find Westchester Pop Stars, search for them on Instagram, Facebook, or Google.
The Fade Store presents the Alleged Superstar of the Week Award.
All right, boys and girls, you know what time it is. It is time for the Alleged Superstar of the Week. You know how it goes. We put up a poll on our Twitter page at FadeRouteDNZ, and you vote, and you vote, and you vote, and you vote. And the winner of said poll gets a shout-out on our show and the coveted ass trophy for the week. And do you know who took home the coveted ass trophy last week, Dave?
I don't.
The Niners. Your Niners took home the coveted ass trophy for the week. So, that was last week, though. This is this week. Who are your nominees for Alleged Superstar of the Week, D?
All right. Or first up, I got a set of, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got a set of 6 people from NFL Network.
Ooh.
All 6 going to the chalk for the Super Bowl and picking the Bills to represent the AFC and win the championship. So Rich Eisen, Steve Mariucci, Kurt Warner, Michael Irvin, Cynthia Freeland, and Rachel Bonetta, you're all superstars of the week. Way to go. What an intriguing show you have where everybody picks the front runner to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. Number 2, I got the New York Mets. Their 10-game lead is down to half game over the Braves in September with their second-best pitcher going on the IL. They are likely to lose the division within the next couple of weeks. The New York Mets, you're my alleged superstars of the week. And last, and certainly least, Yankee team president Randy Levine. When asked about Judge and the contract situation, you called Judge an all-time Yankee. Really, Randy? Oh, is that because of all the pennants he's won? No. Or is it because of all the records he broke? No, it doesn't have any of those. Maybe it's because of the captaincy he holds. No, he doesn't have that either. The fact is that after 7 years, he's finally playing to his potential as a 6'7", 282-pound power hitter. Randy, you just pinned yourself into a corner by calling him an all-time great. Because now if you let him go, you let an all-time Yankee go, and if you keep him around, you're going to be in the same position the Los Angeles Angels were in with Albert Pujols. So, Randy Levine, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Z, what do you got?
Great choices. All great choices. I'm going to start. You were ragging on me before, but we're now going to talk about the world of women's tennis. Margaret Court. Mags, what are you doing? Coming out and saying that Serena Williams never admired you, yet you always admired her. It ain't about you, Margaret. Serena Williams is taking her victory lap, and all you have to do is be gracious, wave your hand, and just not say anything inflammatory. Whoops. The very definition of not giving a shit once you reach a certain age. Good for you. I can appreciate that. But there's a time and a place for everything, and it was not the time nor the place. Margaret Court, you are my alleged superstar of the week. Zach Plesac of the Cleveland Guardians, breaking your hand on the pitching mound after you gave up a home run. You schmuck. What are you doing? Are you that brittle that you banged some dirt and you broke your hand? Are you kidding me? Again, time and a place for everything. Your team is in first place. Your team is in a pennant race. And I can't believe that's happening because we picked the Cleveland Guardians to be very, very bad. So, Zach Plesac, you're costing your team. You put your ego ahead of the team. You, sir, are an alleged superstar of the week. And the last one is kind of a funny one, but it's still there nonetheless. To some random guy on Instagram who drafted Amon-Ra St. Brown in his fantasy league and decided to tell Mr. St. Brown that he had drafted him in his fantasy league by DMing him on Instagram and quoting "Remember the Titans." Dude, this is why people get a bad rap. This is why fantasy players are looked at kind of kooky, look kind of crazy. Absolutely wrong move to put pressure on a guy who may or may not even be that good. We don't know yet. And number two, to kind of go into internet creep mode. Just let the guy play, and you pretend to play as fantasy players do. Remember, you're not on the team. You're not actually the coach. You're not the GM. You got drunk at a Buffalo Wild Wings, and you picked Amon-Ra St. Brown because his name sounded cool. Random fantasy football player, you are my alleged superstar of the week. I think I've said our piece. I think we've said our piece. Go to the Twitter page at FadeRouteDNZ and vote. And for our nominees this week. Just do better. Just do better.
Your favorite podcast has its own merch line now. Go to the Fade store with DNZ.com today for all your Fade Route merch needs. I'm talking tank tops, t-shirts, sweatshirts, like yoga pants, we got those too. Like some cool accessories, we got those too. And we're not done yet. We have so much more planned for you, but check out what we have today at the Fade store with DNZ.com. That's the Fade store with DNZ.com. Let's run the option and give you our picks for the week.
The option for this 2022-2023 season is back. And this year, you can play along with us, ladies and gentlemen. Go to our CBS Sports Pick'em, and you can play along with us. And you can win some prizes. Can you take us down? We will see. But we got a long way to go. Let's start with week 1. Thursday night. Bills at Rams. Who you got, D?
I'm taking the Bills over the Rams. They ruined the night for the defending champs.
I'm taking the Bills as well. I think that the defense is going to cause some fits for Mr. Stafford. The run game will not be there for the Rams just yet. And Josh Allen's going to have himself a game. Sunday. 1 o'clock. New Orleans at Falcons.
I'm taking the Saints, like we talked about earlier. I believe in Jameis. I believe in Kamara. Let's go, Saints.
I'm taking the Saints as well. I don't believe in the Falcons' defense. I don't believe in Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota is not good enough to get the ball to Kyle Pitts, so he is neutralized as a tight end. Jameis will have a day. Michael Thomas will get in the end zone. We'll see. But I'm taking the Saints. The Baker Bowl. Cleveland Browns at Carolina Panthers.
I'm taking a pissed off Baker. I feel like he's got a lot to prove, and I'm going to pick him up on the waiver wire, and I hope he does it this Sunday.
I've been going back and forth on this, to be honest with you. Like, initially, I'm like, yeah, I'm all in on it. Baker's going to have himself a day, but Baker's going up against Myles Garrett. Last time I checked, Myles Garrett is on the other side of that offensive line, and he may decapitate one Baker Mayfield. So, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, Jacoby Brissett won't make the mistake that Baker makes. I'm taking the Browns. I'm going to take the Browns. I talked myself into it. Let's see how it goes. 49ers at Bears at Soldier Field.
It's an easy one for me. 49ers win easily.
Bears have no shot. Absolutely none. Trey Lance won't even need to play well. They can run and they can run the ball with Debo and Mitchell and just take the game. Steelers at Bengals.
Oh, I'm going to surprise you. I'm taking the Steelers. I believe in Mitch. Machine Gun Mitch. Let's go.
It's not a surprise if we both pick them. I'm taking the Steelers as well. I don't believe in the Bengals defense. I believe in Najee Harris. And I believe in the Steelers defense. Steelers win big. Eagles at Lions.
I'm taking the Eagles. Nice little hard knock segment, but at the end of the day, the Eagles are pretty potent on offense and defense.
I want to take the Lions so badly. I do. I really do. I want them to have a taste of success. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Eagles, pretty comfortably. Colts at Texans.
Okay. I got the Colts.
This is tough. Like, Colts are starting their 6th quarterback in 6 seasons. Week 1. Very interesting.
Solid.
Yeah. But they're playing long neck Davis Mills. You know, we're going to see what Damian Pierce is. Colts win, but because of Jonathan Taylor. Pats at Dolphins.
I got the Dolphins. The Patriots never play well down in Miami.
That trend continues. I'm taking the Dolphins as well. And it won't be because of Tua. It's going to be because of that run game. Ravens at Jets.
Taking the Ravens over COVID.
Yeah.
Ugly.
If it wasn't Joe Flacco, I would be tempted. If it wasn't Joe Flacco. But it is Joe Flacco. So have a day, Lamar Jackson. Baltimore wins. Jags at Commanders. First game in Commanders history.
Yeah, I was tempted to take the Jags, but I'm going with the Commanders.
You're tempted? I'm doing it. I'm taking the Jags. I think that Trevor Lawrence is going to have a good game. I don't believe in Carson Wentz. And the Jags invested enough that I think they are going to be a little bit of a problem. We are now in the 4:25 slate of games. The Giants at the Titans.
Giants pull the upset.
Ooh.
Win this week, lose the next 5.
Oh, God. From your lips to God's ears, I hope it happens. However, I don't see it. I think the Titans are going to run all over the Giants. And the Giants are improved, but not good enough to stop King Henry. Chiefs at Cardinals.
I'm taking the Cards. I just don't think the Chiefs have anything to stop Kyler Murray.
I think Kyler Murray will stop Kyler Murray. I think the Chiefs are going to show how balanced they are, and they're going to take it to the Cards on the road. Raiders at Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers. I think Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are just too much to deal with.
I'm going to take the Raiders. Coach McDaniels gets his first win as a Raider because Coach Staley fucks it up for the Chargers. Packers at Vikings.
I'm taking the Vikings. The young receivers will cause Aaron Rodgers to falter.
Week 1, Aaron Rodgers. Week 1, Packers. This is becoming a trend. They lose. They're going to lose again. Vikings are going to take this one. Bucks at Cowboys in your Sunday night game of the week.
Jeez. I am taking the Cowboys over the Bucks.
Wow. Okay. That's surprising. I see you. Very bold. Bold strategy. I'm taking the Bucks. I don't bet against Tom Brady. Never, ever. And Monday Night Delight. Your Monday Night Delight with the new ESPN crew, which is the same as the Fox crew. Oh, hey, whatever. Broncos at Seahawks. It's the Russell Wilson Bowl.
Yeah, this is easy for me. Broncos. if the Seahawks were starting my boy, I might have went that way, but I'm going Broncos.
Yeah, I mean the Seahawks just don't have anything on offense that scares me. Like yeah, DK Metcalf, but you got to get DK Metcalf the ball somehow. I like the Broncos in this game. Russ is not going to have a great game. He's going to get booed out of the building, but they're going to do enough to win, and we're going to take it from there. Broncos 1-0.
This has been the Fade Route with D and Z. Thanks for tuning in this week. You can catch our podcast on Wednesday nights on Anchor, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Until next time, stay faded, everyone.
Time for us to run the go route, but we'll talk to you next week.
Want to get in on the action, we want to hear from you. Hit us up, faderoutemail@gmail.com. Slide in our DMs on IG @FadeRoutePodcast. Drop us a DM on Twitter @FadeRouteDNZ. Comment on our YouTube channel, The Fade Route with DNZ. Questions, comments, picks, segment suggestions, you name it, we want to hear from you. Get at us, in crowd.